Hi everyone, let's talk about the art of being seen and appreciated. Today we're doing tarot Q&A with a twist. What I've done is I've pulled 3 cards to help us to understand how we can improve our lives by feeling that appreciation from others, being seen, and being clear on what stops this from actually happening for us naturally. Now, what happened before is I got cut off on the YouTube live. So we're going to carry on where we left off. And that was understanding we'd been sent in a number of questions by people who found themselves in situations where they weren't being treated with the respect, with the value, with the understanding, with the patience, with the discernment, and so on. There's always a common denominator when we do our regular Tarot Q&A Tuesday, and therefore we're going to hone in on that first, the art of being seen and appreciated. Well, what the tarot had to say first of all was a collection of 3 cards that tell us a story. The first card is the Star. Now, the Star in the tarot is all about vulnerability, coming into your most naked self, really being honest with yourself first to get clear on why you might be oozing out an energy, a frequency that could be attracting back untoward treatment. Now, part of the Star card is really with the mission to empower yourself, to really reach into that inner abundance, to boost that core strength and step forward into receiving the abundance of love, the abundance of goodness, because at the end of the day, we're always receiving abundance. The real question is, are you receiving an abundance of grandeur and wonderfulness, or are you receiving an abundance of lack, of things that aren't going so well for you? And this is really the first step in being aware of where you sit within your vulnerable space. Because in order for you to clear the path and attract the abundance that you deserve, we really need to understand why it's not in flow already. So being vulnerable with ourselves not only sorts out the relationship with others, it also helps you to step forward into being more of your best self. So the first step on the art of being appreciative and seen is to feel into the energy of the Star card. Once again, this card is mostly about vulnerability and being your authentic self by going through that maybe uncomfortable stuff just to release it so you can shine more of your light. Now, when we understand that we have to start with ourselves first, we take back our power. And from there we have hope. And that's also what the Star card is about. There's a lot more to that card, but just in the scheme of how to use it to be more respected and appreciated and seen by other people for the purpose of better connections, just consider something like this. When you react or trigger, a reaction might look like an angry moment, an aggressive fight, or it could be like a trigger that you feel wound up inside, or you feel that you feel guilty, or you might be blaming someone. But what is behind that? What is behind that story? Literally, I just had my last client today and we talked about this. We said that every situation that happens comes from a reason. It comes from another story. Like somebody who commits hardcore crime, they're not born about to commit that hardcore crime. There is a story around what led to that moment. And there is a story around what leads to all of your actions, all of your emotional reactions, all of your feelings at the end of the day, because our feelings are stimulated by these stories, by the perception that we have of things. So the first thing to do is get clear on the true perception, the authenticity in you. If you are reacting either feeling, a bit annoyed or disgruntled that someone's not treating you well, Obviously, there'll be an underlying hurt. And is there another underlying part that is a lack of self-love or a lack of something that you could give to yourself? So somebody who reacts in anger is generally coming from hurt. So that's the first step that we step into. Then there's often other layers though. There's often stories around why we're hurt. We're making up a story about what that situation is meaning. And although it seems to be a true story that is physically experienced in your world, it is happening because your life is a representation of your stories, of your beliefs, of how you see yourself, of who you think you are and what you think you deserve. And therefore, it's the first port of call with any major, amazing change in your life for the better is to start to know thyself. Tune in to this 8 energy. We're also in an 8 year. Now, recently, like the last 4 days, we have really been feeling the eclipse energy, the full moon from last night. And a lot of people have been feeling disheveled, tumultuous, disharmonious, and other, it's just been off center, quite disturbing. Now, this is often stirring up a lot of what's inside of us that we need to release. Some old debris, some old issues that we've squashed down. Therefore, if they rise and you think that the issue is the moment in time, the argument with the partner, the difficulty at work, the situation with your relationship, whatever it is, just think again and go deeper, because this moment, this tricky time that's happening in your life during this kerfuffle of energy in the universe or in our world at this time, what is behind that? Like, get into the zone of where this is coming from at a deeper level and choose to release it. So what I mean by this is there are a lot of disturbances that happen for different reasons. Every one of them is an opportunity to reassess how you are doing life and to take it as a sign of something suppressed in you that you can release. There's lots of other ways I could describe it, but for simple terms, if you are feeling a drama in your life or something that doesn't feel great, especially at this time with this crazy energy, stop and see what the pattern is in your life and release it. Okay, I'm going to get on to the next step, which is perfect as well, because it's actually the Empress card. And the Empress card is all about creation. And to keep it really short and simple for the sake of this video, I want to suggest that if you're in a challenging time, what is the ideal outcome? What we need to know is what is the creation you want to manifest, because the Empress card is the epitome of Mother Nature. She is creation. She is your thoughts manifested. Therefore, if you're focusing on this tricky time, this challenging feeling that's going on in your life, perhaps, because we have a few questions that we're going to unpack shortly, and this is an opportunity to decide, choose, make a plan, like have a vision of what your ideal outcome is. Otherwise, you're just going to focus on what's going wrong. And what did we say in the beginning? You're going to attract the lack of what you want. So where we put our focus, obviously energy goes to that space and we get more of it. And we don't want more kerfuffle. So let's focus on the love and the light and the happiness. How does it look for you? All right, racing along to the final part of our 1, 2, 3 step process in the art of being seen and appreciated. We have the soulmate card. Now this is the 2 of Cups, which really indicates a connection on an emotional level with another person. Usually a person. I mean, it can be a dog, but at the end of the day, it's usually a connection on some level with others. Now, how perfect is that, right? Like, I literally picked these cards randomly, and I'd say the angels are on our side, giving us such simple, clear guidance. So 1 is to be deeply honest with yourself and really ask yourself, what is behind your outward reaction to your current situation? And can you reset that? Often that's limiting subconscious beliefs. And just being honest with yourself allows you to be clearer in your communication with others, so that you can take your power back by owning what you're feeling and asking for what you need. However, if you don't know what you want, we must go to the second step, which is creation. Get clear on what you want. Get clear on what you want. Get clear on the ideal outcome. And then after that, you will have the connection that you desire. That's the short step 1, 2, 3. Now let's whip into the questions, because I know people are dying to hear what their answers are today. First of all, we had one from Leah. Now Leah is having a situation with her daughters. She has asked, what is the best way to go about ensuring my girls have respect for me? They feel we no longer get along. They currently live with me. I feel sad they have expressed this. So they have actually had the conversation that they're not feeling this connection with their mum, which is a pretty hardcore conversation to receive, although it is honest and it does give people a chance to build something deeper than they had before. So as hard as this moment is to be in for anybody who is told some supposedly cold, hard truth, at the end of the day, this may be something to do with Leah's daughters. It could be something to do with Leah. It's possibly a combination of the two. And being family, we can come in with these karmic issues that we need to resolve. Before we get into that more, I'm just going to give some answers for Leah's question, because what she wants to know is she actually said, what is the best way to go about this, which is a fantastic question to ask, because she's putting herself in the power seat rather than saying, why is this happening to me? Poor me. So I really love the way Leah worded this question. Now, the message for Leah at this time, just get into the zone of Leah's energy to get the most probable well, what we want to do first of all is recognize that this has sort of been brewing for a while. It feels like there's been a lot of effort put in, and yet it still feels like hard work. That feels like from your part and not so much theirs. So what do you do? Like, we're just honoring the fact that it feels like you have tried. And this is a really interesting message, because what I'm getting is this real heart energy. In a practice called Jin Shin Jitsu, we call this the little finger energy. And it's all about pretense and trying too hard. And it's like you need to detach or walk away from the situation in order for it to resolve. It's a bit like the whole rubber band effect. The more you try, the more you push them away. It's a bit of a process of detachment. It's not saying, I don't want a connection with you, I don't love you anymore. It's saying, I'm not going to put so much effort in trying in from my ego perspective. I'm going to allow this to unfold. And I say this so often, but I do feel, because I've actually pulled this card, another 8, a lot of 8s today. The 8, this is about walking away from something, knowing that more fulfillment is waiting for you. Now, this does not mean deserting your girls. It means not focusing on that at this time. Bear with, we're going to expand on this. And as we say, get your own passion ignited within you. One thing people are drawn to in others is enthusiasm, is happiness, is passion, is inspiration. That people are not drawn to those that are not confident and that are wallowing, unless, of course, you're in the misery yourself. And they say, what do they say? Misery loves company. So does happiness. So does passion. And it's very important to say to the girls, obviously, I want the connection back. And you can do the obvious, what do they need from you? But from a spiritual perspective, we are saying, I just feel like, I know you live with them, but I feel like you need to step aside. Now, how do you do that? It's just keeping it light while you focus on your passion. Now, this is not a selfish thing. It's just getting you back into your best space, and that will simultaneously develop more of a connection because your energy will be changed. And let me give you more. Yeah. And I just pulled the soulmate card. I know this is actually an indication that you can build that connection with your daughters again. Definitely, there's no doubt about it. It's also a connection of perhaps a partner. So it is time to, maybe that passion that we're talking about could be in a relationship. Maybe it's time to ignite some passion in your life on that more creative, sexy time level. And therefore, you know, you can come into your womanhood again and just feel the confident goddess that you are. Therefore, maybe get on some dating apps, or, you know, that actually feels like the right thing to do. I'm just trying to see. I'm feeling into things like Bumble, Tinder, Bumble. It says no to those. So something other than those ones. I don't know what there is, so you might go for that. Right, we need to whiz along now to Sharon's question. She has said, my son and daughter-in-law are difficult to communicate with, and they take a lot of what Sharon says the wrong way. How do I get around this? Okay, we'll just pull a card to get an overall feeling for Sharon. Okay, so we're going to tune into Sharon's energy. What does she need to hear right now regarding this situation? Oh my goodness, this is crazy. I've got the same message in a different way that Leah got. Now, we've got the happiest card in the deck here. And it's always the point of reference for any change in our life, right? Passion and happiness. Ignite it inside first. People would say, well, easier said than done. Not really. It just needs to be done step by step, minute by minute, not waiting for the big stuff. Therefore, a lot of this is being a bit more playful in the sake of Sharon. I feel that, yeah, it's a time to, once again, not take things so seriously. Instead, have a bit more fun, which is funny coming from me because I'm usually pretty intense with the whole deep and meaningful stuff, aren't I? So we'll just give a different layer of how to do this. And now I've got the Death card, which is out with the old, in with the new. A fresh start. Are you living with them? Are you living with these people? Because it would be really good if you weren't. Not because you also are not going to maintain a connection. You will have a connection with these people. The connection will be better when you are feeling your happiest. How to get happy? Well, follow the 1, 2, 3 instructions that we gave in the beginning. And really focus on your ideal life, not ideal relationship with these people, your ideal life, not in a living on a luxurious boat in the Mediterranean. That can be part of the story. I'm talking an overall feeling and sense of achievement and how you belong and how you are expressing your unique gifts. It's going to take some heartfelt reflection. It's a big picture for your entire life. What am I here on this planet for? So this is huge, right? This is huge. Whizzing along, we have a question from Carmen. What is my identity wound that I was sent to heal? It's an interesting question, Carmen. And for those who don't know what an identity wound is, it's like a belief about yourself that you live by that doesn't really serve you, such as I am not lovable, I'm not enough, I'm not capable, these kind of things. I'm not worthy, we hear it a lot, right? Now, in the scheme of Carmen's question, it's not so much you got sent this wound to heal. It's more of the evolution of yourself and where you're at right now. So we're taking it from today. The feeling I'm getting is this belief around I am not desirable. All right. And so it's great to know that. Let's find the message of how you can transcend that, how you can release that belief and turn it into I am absolutely desirable. I am a goddess. I am ravishingly desirable. Now, what we have here, oh, hold on, Carmen. Well, we have what we've got, the King of Love here, the King of Cups. The King of Cups is a man who is quite emotional. It depends how you take this card. I'm going to pull another card to see how we read it. Ha! Do you know, this is so beautiful because what I've got here is the King of Cups and the Queen of Swords. The King of Love and the Queen of Black and White says it as it is, as she wants it. This is about you having the confidence to ask for your needs to be met. This is on all levels. I'm talking a give and take desire. This could be like literally in the bedroom. It could be in life. The first practice of feeling desirable is to go outside that comfort zone and ask for your needs to be met specifically, whatever those are, like detailed. I mean, like, don't just say to someone, I don't feel desired, or you don't desire me, or no one ever desires me. That's just not helpful. What we need to establish within you, once again, those statements are like the reaction. We want to go behind the statement and ask yourself, why do you not feel desirable? And then what would make you feel desirable? Now, bearing in mind, we don't want to have another person make us feel a certain way. We need to get that inside us first. And saying that, in a relationship, of course, we're going to have this dynamic where we do need to communicate things that we prefer. So I suggest, because this feels quite relationship related, that you think about what you would love to have to prove that you are desirable. Prove. Not really the right term, yet, you know, people are not mind readers and they show their love in so many different ways. They show their desire in so many different ways. You know how it goes. Many people are very unique out there. So when we find our match, we still need to adapt to the idiosyncrasies, don't we? So I'm just going to leave that one with you, Carmen. I quite like the answer. I look forward to hearing your response as we whip along to this from Melissa. I had an introduction, I think let me say introduction, or something, for a new job today. Induction, I'm not sure what that is, but found out a lady that bullied me out of my last job also worked there. So the job opportunity is no more. Why was this thrown back at me? Patterns repeating is what we're feeling here. Why are the patterns repeating? And could it have just been a sign not to get that job? Or is it a sign to stand up for yourself for any of that kind of carry on? How do you handle these situations? Would be a good starting point, right? Okay. Melissa, what do you need to hear about this? Okay. Why did this happen? Why did this get thrown back at me? That's the first thing. I cringe to say this again. I cringe. What I want to say is it's because of how your beliefs are formatting your reality. But more specifically, just to give you some extra details, it is you not lining things up with your beliefs. Your values, your values. You're not lining things up with your values. This means big long pause. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're just getting the same story for everyone here in a roundabout way. We have the Queen of Cups, and I like you to just look on this, that in the throne there is this little child in the chair. It's an embossed, engraved image, and it represents the inner child, which is the same kind of process as looking at the other aspect of why these things are happening to you. So in the beginning I said, when you react or when you feel a certain way, take it back to the next level, right? Take it a layer behind that reaction. Take it another layer behind. Find the story. And it's similar to this. It's seeing what you attract. So rather than it being a reaction, you're looking at what are you attracting into your life and what stories run through you that could relate. An easy example of this is if you lose a lot of money and then you go, what stories am I telling myself? I don't want money because it's bad. It's not really what you believe, but you're thinking, you're not thinking, Melissa, I'm just saying as an example for people that have things happen in their life, take it back to the truth of how you feel about the said situation. So if it is a lack of money, maybe you lose a lot of money on the share market or something. Now you need to assess what are your beliefs and what is your relationship with money. So in this case, Melissa, with this job situation, what are your beliefs around... This is actually not specific to a job. This is about luck, about things not going your way or things not being easy. There's a long story inside your subconscious awareness that talks about things are hard, life is hard, things don't work out for me. That needs to be let go of. So what do? We create the creation of the opposite. Life is easy, everything always works out for me, I am in flow with my life, everything just falls in front of me before I even think about it, my luck lands at my feet. These kind of positive affirmations are what would be really, really helpful for you. However, affirmations are not enough. Affirmations do not work unless you shift the energetic charge behind them at the root cause, which may be in a parallel life, as you know, because that's what we do with the solar line therapy that I use with my clients. Anywho, back to the questions. We have Catherine Murray. Will I get a job soon? A new job? Well, here's a question that needs a few other questions. Once again, when we ask for something from the universe, from life, we need to get a bit clearer about it. So I'm totally happy to answer this question for you, Catherine, absolutely. But how soon is my question. And really, let's look at, is it correct action to get a new job? And then we will see how far away it feels. Let's do that, right? Let's just feel into, I want to know why you want a new job. So if we take it into the scheme of our philosophy today, which is be honest with ourselves based on either our reactions, our life circumstances, or our intense low vibe negative feelings, what is behind that? Now, Catherine, you're in this job situation that you want a new job. Do you have a job that you don't like? It feels like you have a job that you don't like. And then you need to see why. What's wrong with the job? Why am I not happy there? And we can blame things like we can blame the culture or the people or the boss or the work, but go deeper and find something like, I don't feel respected, or I am not using my potential enough, or I would like to have a new opportunity to expand my experience. What is it? What is behind it? And then, of course, craft your new creation. What does your new job look like? And we will just feel into, Catherine, is it correct action to get a new job at this time? definitely does feel like you need a job where you're celebrated at, a job where you are appreciated. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's funny because that's what we're talking about today. I tell you, these tarot Q&A readings, they all line up with one another. This is a Six of Wands. This is you being celebrated, being in a victory dance for the work you do. So when will you get a job? When you shift your energy, okay? But we'll get you a little bit more clear information. How do you shift your energy? Focus on what you want, not the frustration of not getting the job. One more piece of information for you. Get crystal clear. Write down an entire page on how this new job feels to you, as if you have started and you've been at the job for a month. I want you to be very precise about how you feel in this job and what skills you use and how happy you are and whatever else you want to put in there. A good A4 size paper. This is a message, a request to your angels, to the universe. In fact, what I suggest at the top of the letter, you say, I call upon my recruitment angels. I call upon my work recruitment angels. This is my ideal outcome. Show me the way. So it's you being an active participant in the creation of your reality, not waiting to discover what's going to happen. And this is a key ingredient, a key message to the messages that I help my clients work with. I'll repeat that. Create your life. Don't wait to see what you can discover. Create it. Otherwise, you are just being thrown around. But we don't create without intention. Jessica, as you know, I've recently moved to London and I'm finding it quite an overwhelming change. How can I really ground into my self-worth during this time? And how can I trust that things will work out? Well, the first thing that pops to my mind is that working out, having worked out, isn't always as we expect it to work out. Things are working out, Jessica. They are working out. This is all part of your experience, but I know what it's like. You're wanting to get the job and get the home and get everything sorted out. Absolutely, it makes sense. So, remembering there's no hurry. In this case, you will be supported financially and emotionally and spiritually. And how can I help you to reinforce that and trust? Let me pull a card. Allow me to pull a card. Okay. Once again, we've got some 8 energy going on. This is the 8 of Cups. What we are needing to do here is walk away from something that is not emotionally fulfilling. And in the case of you, this is about detaching to the loss. Look, it's hard to sometimes start life with a clean slate without recognizing there's a past. However, it is a power move to put yourself in this new country and to just play with the world, play the game of life, play with the universe. Because part of you wants to attach, hold on to connections of the past because it's scary, you're scared. And my challenge to you would be to take maybe a week, let's say a week, 10 days. 10 days I'm getting. Take 10 days where you can have no contact with anybody from the past, except for maybe tomorrow after you listen to this or something, and you can have a quick message to me and I will set you on your way. Then take 10 days, like it's a deadline, you've got 10 days, and just be in the moment. Like detach from all people from your home, from New Zealand. And it's going to be challenging. Yes, it will be. But it will prove to you how letting go is important to leap forward and set yourself up to fill the gaps with new things. So don't make a phone call when you're feeling needy. Get out your journal or go for a walk or call one of the new acquaintances you've made. Something like that. Okay? And this is a real interesting exercise. I mean, hey, I didn't make it up. It's just presented here today. But it's an art of you building that inner strength, that personal power through detachment and through building confidence to put yourself in a situation that is uncomfortable, out of the comfort zone, you would say. All right, we better whip along, hadn't we? Because we have another question from Donna Slinger. I would appreciate this being the year that I move into a warmer home and a different part of the country that is somewhere warmer, but I'm not sure how this is possible. Many thanks. Now, Donna, I love the fact that it's not really a question, but I get where you're coming from. Thank you for sending that in. We are assuming you want to know if this is highly probable with the current energy that you are living in. Is the energy that Donna is working with at this time most likely leading to a new home? And if so, is it warm and sunny? I think you know in your heart that that has to happen. So it is about, once again, making that move. I think a lot of these messages today are really about having the guts, getting that core confidence, right? So Donna, what we want to know is, yes, okay. So the first card I pull is you being an independent woman, comfortable in her own skin, financially secure, doing her life on her own terms. I feel that this is not happening at the moment. There's a lot of rules you're telling yourself you have to live by. You know, you could get a new home that may be different to what you expect, right? And this is possibly the best home. It could be an interim home to get you into the new location. Grab the home. It might be quirky, you know. I know, like, for example, when I first moved to Raglan, I grabbed a tiny home. It was super cute and so different to what I'd had before. And I took it as an experience. And now I'm coming to the end of that experience, and in me it feels like I'm ready for something new. So just take the next step, and you may be there for 2 months, 3 months, 8 months, or 2 years. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at this point. The time is, where do you want to live? Action it. Action it. Make it happen. It's a great idea. It's going to leverage you into more of your empowered, independent self, feeling good about yourself too. And yeah, I mean, what do you want to know, really? We want to see, is there anything blocking that at this time other than the lack of confidence? Well, I've pulled the soulmate card again. Are you afraid that you won't have connections with people where you're going to? Is that a concern to you? Because you will if you follow your heart and make the move to live in an area that you desire. Find something different to live in the meantime. I feel that there's something, is that correct action? Yeah, I feel there is something, just take it as an experience. You don't have to get the perfect house set up perfectly. It's just a stepping stone in the right direction. Take the best opportunity you can get and you can afford that's available at this time where your heart and soul want to live. Simple. And it sounds quite logical when you put it like that, doesn't it? Just checking to see if there's any other messages. Look, I may have missed a few emails because we are having a problem with the YouTube. And at this stage, we will love you and leave you. If you want a recap of what our message was today. We did a 1, 2, 3 process of how to be feeling appreciated and seen by others in your world. And the first step is being honest with yourself and being real with how you are feeling behind your frustration and reaction to other people. Okay, and then you can reset or reframe the stories you're telling yourself. Get real and honest with yourself, and in some cases you'll need to get real and honest with other people in order to build that communication for better outcomes. And the second step is get clear on what you want to create in your life, what you want. What is the ideal? What is the opposite of not being appreciated, not being seen? Write it down. And then watch the connections start to unravel and unfold in your life. Focus on the abundance of good stuff. Avoid focusing on what you don't want, and you will effortlessly attract what you desire before you even desire it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please show your appreciation and allow me to be seen by giving me a thumbs up and make a comment in the chat so that I know who's been watching and we can share the love together. See you next time. Bye for now.